Hey, what's going on, team? It's Ricky with Technical Solutions. I hope that you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. I'm just going to give it a couple of seconds and make sure that it's streaming. I've been having a little bit of issues right now setting up on my desktop. Let me go ahead and see. Okay, I'm going to give it a couple of seconds. I believe everything should be fine. It says online. Let me double check. All right, here we go. And alrighty. Okay, sweet. All right, I just wanted to make sure I've been having a couple of issues with my YouTube account. It wasn't loading. It says that I wasn't signed in or something like that. So I'm about 8 minutes late. I do apologize for that delay, but I definitely did not mean to do that. But yeah, hope you guys are all having an amazing Sunday. Super excited to be back here in Arizona. How was your guys' weekend? Are you guys all having an amazing week? How many of you guys are pumped for this upcoming week? Right? Let's see. No worries, just been chatting. What's going on, Jeff? What's up? What's going on, Kathy? What's going on, team? What's going on, James, Michael, Nelson, Jose? Here we go. Pumped for this upcoming week. Yeah, went through that hurricane. Ivan, super happy to see that you guys did well with that. The whole team is here. Yeah, what's going on, Ismail? What's up? No days off. Yeah, definitely excited. Okay, so for those that are tuning in for the first time, hello, my name is Ricky. I day trade. I run the largest YouTube channel, and I run the largest private Facebook group for those who day trade in the stock market. We have a little bit over 225,000 members on Facebook and a little bit over 615,000 subscribers on YouTube. All together, right, we're just a small team that comes together every single Sunday, and we simply talk about whatever you see value. In no way is this video for me to share my top stocks or anything like that. The whole point, it's 660,000 now. Oh, okay, cool. But the whole point of these Sunday stock talks, and again, this is just my opinion, is I think that because the market is only open Monday through Friday, right? When it comes down to like the extra time that we have over the weekend, it's a time that we can kind of come together and prepare for the upcoming week, right? Kind of just to understand maybe what to pay attention to, maybe what to avoid, and simple things like that. At the end of the day, we would never suggest for you to trade anything that we talk about in this video. One of the biggest things that we try to focus on and empower you to do is watch any of my videos. Watch any of my videos, even when I trade and when I make a profit. I never suggest anyone to do anything, because if you don't have a full understanding or a reason behind what it is that you are doing, you can't learn from it. And if you make a profit from it, then it just feels like you got lucky, right? At the end of the day, we're not here to get lucky. We're here to understand what we can do to continue to grow our accounts consistently, right? I think that's the goal for all of us. So what is on your face? 2 eyes, a nose, and a smile. What is an ETF? That is an amazing question to ask Google. Very simple question that you can ask Google, or you can YouTube search it. But yeah, I really hope that you guys enjoy the next 20 to 30 minutes where I break down the top 10 stocks that you all see value in. And if it's okay with you, only if you feel like I earned it, I would really appreciate it if we earned your thumbs up. It really helps out this video, really helps out us to be able to reach more people, and it would just help out the overall channel as a whole. And again, if you guys can, we'd greatly appreciate the thumbs up. So Acacia, what's going on, Acacia? Huge shout out to Acacia for absolutely killing it in the buying and reselling market when it comes down to the cars. Super happy just to have you even as a part of the Flipping Wheels team, and also of course the Learn Time Profit team. All right, let's go ahead and get started. We already have people sharing their top stocks in the ticker call out format. So that's exactly what I'm going to be breaking down. If you want me to break down the top stock that you see value in, I only have one simple request from you, and it's just to make sure that you do your own due diligence, that you set up your plan for success, just like Kadar, right? Just like Ranger, and there we go, Kadar again. So I'm going to break down these. So we got BLL, right? And then we got ACB. So I'm going to put them right here, BLL, and then the next one is ACB. So we're going to start with BLL, and one of the things that I personally like to focus on is the 180-day chart. So on the 180-day chart, 4-hour chart. Again, for all those that are going to be asking what platform I'm using, you guys can see on the top left-hand corner, I am using the TD Ameritrade Thinkorswim platform. It is the platform that I use. It is not the only option. If you're outside of the US, then Google or research what platform is a good fit for you. Don't ask me what's a good fit for you. I don't know what it is that you are looking for. And those are just like very basic questions that if like you can't help yourself, then I do expect anyone to help you, right? Please just do your own due diligence and try to get a better understanding of what the platforms have to offer and maybe what it is that you're looking for. And it really means that you have to dedicate time to learn more about it. And yeah, it means it takes work and time, and it's just you know, the world we live in, right? That you actually have to put in work to make things happen. So what do you all think about BLL? I want to get your guys' input. So one of the things that I like to do during these Sunday stock talks is what's it called? Ismail is reminding everyone that if you do not post, like we got Rich, Travis. So first of all, I appreciate you guys tuning in. But if you don't post your ticker in the ticker call out format, I'm not going to break it down for you. It's that simple. If you can't help yourself, I'm not here to help you, right? So he will be removing you from the chat if you don't post it in the ticker call out format. But I want to get, one thing that you find attractive about BLL and maybe something that you don't find so attractive. So what is one quality, right, or one factor about BLL that some of you guys might find attractive? So needs upswing trade confirmation. Okay, healthy, consistent uptrend, right? A really good example that I like to give people is if you use the Robinhood application, right? For a lot of beginners, if you use the Robinhood application and you click on that 1-year chart, and if your account balance were to look something like this, would you be happy? Yeah, because it's showing signs of consistent growth. So cool, it makes sense, right? Now, what's one of the things that we are doing right now? I like to pick up on patterns. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They do not have to. And why is that so important? Because we have to wait for confirmation, right? So I'm going to set my alert for the break above the EMA line. It's an indicator that I really like to pay attention to, and really it's just an indicator that I like to use as a reference to indicate signs of like confirmation or the price action actually showing signs of growth, right? Overall, the SMA line has been acting as a support, so the more that BLL sells off, really, the more margin of profit for recovery it might have if it continues to uptrend. So it makes sense, right? That you should simply just wait for confirmation, right? One of the things that you want to ask yourself is the margin of profit worth it? It offers about a 2 to 3% margin. That's up to you to decide. That's not something that I can answer for you. You have to take the dollar amount that you plan to take on that trade, right? Let's say you have $1,000 to work with a 3% growth. Let's say that you capture 1.5% of that or 2% of that, because usually there's no such thing as like a perfect trade. It doesn't always work out according to plan. So let's say you catch 1.5, 2% of that. Is that attractive enough for it to be worth the trade? Also, if it doesn't go according to plan, what are you willing to risk, right? Where's your stop loss? Overall, I'd like to say that BLL offers a very consistent uptrend pattern. I like the MACD, I like the RSI. All I would really say is to wait for confirmation. Wait for it to build a support just like it has before, and then wait for that price action to actually indicate signs of an uptrend. And I think with that, we can get the reassurance that, okay, it's actually beginning to indicate signs of growth. I'm a trader. I want to grow my account. I want to partake in that growth. I'll get in once I get that confirmation. That's what I would simply like to wait for. So are you a day trade or buy and hold? I am from Brazil. You could watch my videos. I day trade only. So it doesn't mean that that's the right thing to do. It doesn't mean that that's what you have to do. It's just simply what I do. And just because I do it doesn't mean that you should too. What's one of the things that you guys want to point out about ACB? I'll pull this one up. I'm not a huge fan of Aurora. This is one that was really popular for some time. They had a huge marketing team behind them that drove the price up to $10. Ever since then, right, it's been having a very consistent, I wouldn't say it's inconsistent, right? I would say that it's very consistent selling off. It's a very consistent descending pattern. The SMA line, and again, this is just what I see, has been getting rejected, right? It's been acting as an overall resistance for a very consistent descending pattern. There's nothing wrong with that. So, and I want you guys to know, you guys have to be open-minded about what we're talking about here. This is a very consistent descending pattern. Doesn't mean that you cannot make money. No, it just means that the overall direction of this stock for the past 1, 2, 3, 4, 4.5 months has been selling off. And you're right. Sometimes it does push up, but that normally gets rejected by the SMA line. Here, 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 here. It's just a pattern. Patterns tend to repeat themselves. They do not have to. So because of that pattern, right, we can say that look at the MACD, look at the RSI, and look at previous patterns. It's more at a resistance than it is a good deal. And that's all I need. That's all I need. It's not a good deal. It's a descending pattern, and it has more margin for loss than it does for profit. And because of that, that is enough for me to not want to partake in that. That is my opinion. Why? Because I think that it's more overbought. So if I buy in right now, yes, it does, and it can continue to uptrend. Anything can happen, right? There's no right or wrong. It's just how you want to set yourself up for success. We're deal hunters, just like Mark said. One of the biggest things, if you're part of Learn, Plan, Profit, which is our private trading group, just a little reminder, it's $40 off right now with the second link below for all those that want to join and be able to watch me trade live every day. But what's one of the things that I always empower you to do with the houses that I invest in, with the stocks that I trade, right? And when it comes down to the cars that I buy, just because you have money doesn't mean that you should just throw it and waste it, right? Shameless plug. Oh, you already know Mr. Webbs, right? What is one of the things that I'd like to empower you to do? It's to be a deal hunter, to be empowered to get a good deal. You don't have to understand all these like indicators and all these different things. All you can do is set yourself up for success based off of previous patterns and based off of where it's at. Does this look like a good deal? Is this uptrending? Is there more margin of profit than there is for loss? No, no, and no. And because of that, it does not meet my criteria. And I'll set my alerts for the sake of it because, again, anything can happen. And it doesn't mean that you were right or wrong. It just means that you were selective, right? It means that you were selective. Like, does every real estate investor always make the best real estate investment decisions? No, but they just set themselves up for success. So consistently, they're more right than they are wrong. And when they are wrong, they'll manage the risk and then move on from that. It's the same thing when it comes down to trading. And the reason that I like to make those like comparisons is because people find the stock market to be much more difficult and strange in comparison to something like real estate that we all at least have some form of understanding with, right? You should be empowered to be selective. If you're someone that accepts to trade something based off of someone else's opinion, just based off of an impulse, I don't know what to tell you, but just think about it. Anyone that's uber successful in any market, are they truly taking orders every step of the way to get to where it is that they are? No, they are self-sufficient, they are self-driven, they are problem solvers, and they understand what it is that they are doing. It's not the difficult things in life that people overcomplicate, it's the very simple things. Do not put yourself in a position that you simply do not understand. Do not put yourself in a position that does not set you up for success. A lot of you guys are trading with very small accounts. Think about this. And this is something that you should be empowered, that should empower you to learn. Right now, you are trading with maybe $1,000, $5,000, $10,000, but you have very minute experience in the stock market. And ask yourself this, just like when it comes down to having a career. As you continue to immerse yourself more in the market, you become more involved, gain more experience, and gain more confidence. You build your track record. Do you really see yourself 5 or 10 years from now only trading with $1,000, $5,000, or $10,000? No. You will scale. You will trade with more because your confidence and experience will follow. So why are you trying to make it or break it right now? Why are you trying to pay the bills with a $1,000 trading account? It does not work like that. Steph Curry didn't start making millions and millions or tens of millions of dollars, right? Just when he was in, I don't know when he actually started playing in the NBA, but he's even like an extreme example of someone that's like, one in a million, right? Put yourself in an odds where you're not waiting for any luck to happen, where you're putting yourself in a position that you set yourself up for success, that you don't need anything given to you, that you're willing to work towards it. At least that's the mentality that I would like to have in every market that I choose to pursue. I don't want anything given to me. I don't need anything to be given to me, just like you don't need anything. We don't deserve anything. It's everything that we work towards, right? So every trade that follows for this upcoming week, and sorry for this tangent, But every trade that follows for this upcoming week, do yourself a favor. Do not take a position based off of someone else's request. Take a position only if it makes sense for you, and if that position moving forward is something that your future self will thank you for. That's all, because you'll either learn from it or you'll actually make a profit. And at the end of the day, that profit is something so minute later down the road that it's not even going to matter. An extra $500 is really not going to matter 5-10 years from now. Because if you continue to learn, if you continue to scale, then again, that's where you can really begin to focus on actually making a profit. Sorry for that tangent. I just really wanted to, make sure that we kickstart this week on a really strong note, right? Let's go ahead and move on. So Ryan Tan is calling out ticker symbol Tesla. Tesla was doing pretty well last week, right? So overall, strong descending pattern. Overall, began to show signs of an uptrend and then began to sell off. One of the things that we've been pointing out, and again, I'm simply pointing it out. It doesn't mean that it has to happen. Tesla, first of all, one of the things that you guys have to know about this is that this stock is all over the place. Any news or anything that Elon tweets will most likely drive the price up or down, right? Especially when it comes down to any news or just factors when it comes down to their earnings or their overall production, just usually drives the price down. It's usually Elon or something that he'll tweet that will drive the price up, right? One of the things that I simply want to remind you is that right now, based off of recent patterns and how this SMA line has been trading, this is solely just off of technicals, no fundamentals. It's more at a resistance than it is as support, right? It's been consolidating a lot here and it hasn't been really pushing above the overall SMA line. So I would say that it's more at a resistance than it is a support, and it's more overbought than it is at a good deal. So, but just as anything can happen, I have my alert already set here. If it does continue to make higher highs, then great. We can follow once we get that confirmation. But to me, it makes more sense on why it can actually continue to sell off rather than continue to uptrend. So there we go. Let's go ahead. Yeah, so if you guys are asking me about trading options, I don't trade options. I don't have any opinion on it. I don't have any opinions on Forex either. I simply, day trade and I day trade in the stock market. So if you have any questions about that, I'd love to answer them for you. And also, if I don't answer your questions here within this live stream, I believe it's the first or second link down below. Feel free to refresh your screen if you don't see it. It's our free Facebook group, and I've brought it up already. We have 225,000 members if you are not a part of it, and you can simply direct message me within our free TechBud Solutions Discord chat. So just a little reminder on that. And again, you can find that link in the description. So here we go. So we got ticker symbol NFLX. Sweet. All right. So what does this look like to you? So I see that there's a lot of consolidation, overall descending pattern. This just isn't showing any signs of growth. I'm just going to keep it super short and sweet. Yeah, it's kind of consolidating. It's trying to find a support. It has not. I'm trying to look for the top stocks this week. And until this indicates signs of an uptrend, I can care less for it, right? So I'm going to set my alert. And if it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, in all honesty, I'm going to need a lot more rather than just this thing just to push up for a little bit. I would feel much more comfortable. And again, just my opinion, if this overall pattern actually begins to trade above the SMA line and recovers all of this. This is something that I find much more attractive. This is something that would actually make sense to me and that I would rather wait for, and the margin of profit is worth it. And instead of trying to make it or break it or try to call an early reversal, again, this is a very small portion out of the big piece of pie. So be patient, be selective, and be empowered to say no. Regardless of if someone does make money on something, it doesn't mean that it was the right trade for you if it didn't make sense or meet all your criteria. So I like it. I like what it has to offer. But as of right now, I just don't see the direction to be in my favor. And because of that, I would simply have to say that I would wait for confirmation. So VXX, what's going on, Jojo Beans? VXX. Here we go. What do you guys think about this one? So, okay, overall descending patterns, just been making lower lows, lower highs, overall selling off. Yeah, I could see why based off of these aggressive sell-offs, it tends to pick up. Aggressive sell-offs, it tends to pick up. Yep, you can set your alerts if you want to trade the overall reversals. I don't trade these just because, and this is Barclays. Okay. Yeah, the volatility is just, I don't know enough about these to feel comfortable trading them. If you've been trading them and you see there to be a consistent pattern, and as long as you manage your risk, right, I can see why someone would, buy the lows, sell the highs, buy the lows, sell the highs, buy the lows, sell the highs. It's just really hard with this overall descending pattern to know exactly where the lows are at. So you would have to wait for confirmation and then where the highs are at. And that's the biggest thing, is you want to make sure that the overall direction is in your favor and that you get that confirmation, especially with something that is aggressively selling off, right? So here we go. just a little heads up. You can type that in 1,000 times and it still won't break it down for you if you don't help yourself and post it in the ticker call out format. We got Justin, right, posting shop in the ticker call out format. He did his own due diligence. Holy smokes. And if you can't do that for yourself, then don't get mad why someone won't assist you, right? If you can't help yourself, how do you expect anyone to help you? I just don't get that. Overall, we've been getting a lot of consolidation on SHOP, right? This is Shopify. Overall, an ascending uptrend pattern. We've talked about this multiple times before. Again, one of the things that I want to empower you to do is to be extremely patient. The more that you wait and the more that it sells off, the more margin that it has for a recovery for profit. So think about that. The more that it sells off, and if you're so certain that it's going to recover, why not just let it sell off? Why not just let it build that margin for potential recovery? The more it sells off, the more you wait, right? The less you bag hold, and if you wait for confirmation, then the more margin for potential recovery. It's like the best of both worlds. But guess what? It takes a very simple thing called patience that I think a lot of people struggle with, and I'm 100% one of those people that's an area of opportunity for myself. There's nothing wrong with saying that you struggle with something in the stock market. There's nothing wrong with that. It's, no one's perfect. But it's identifying what you can improve on a daily basis to always try to become a better trader, right? Here we go. Alrighty. Here we go. What's going on, Jason? So ZS. All right, overall ZS, consistent ascending uptrend pattern. Overall has been selling off. I would not touch this at all. It's been selling off, showing signs of lower lows, and yeah, it can show signs of reversal, not showing any signs as of right now. And again, we're talking about the top stocks this week. This does not meet any of my criteria, so I'm not even going to dedicate time to break it down too much. So TNAV. TNAV, here we go. Huge sell-off. I can see why this could be attractive to some people, this potential dip buy opportunity. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI. No indication of an uptrend or an overall reversal. I'll set my alert for what it's worth. It's right now at 585. I think that this would be interesting to follow up with if you're an absolute beginner. This is just my opinion. If you're an absolute beginner, due to the volatility and due to this movement, I would stay away from this. This is just, in my experience, I've really taking huge losses when it comes down to trying to buy the dip on these huge sell-offs, and they can continue to aggressively sell off. So if you struggle managing your risk, if you struggle identifying good entries and good exits, or you struggle with confirmation and stuff like that, then just realize it. Just understand that you are not ready to start sprinting, right? You are not ready to partake in these. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that you need to practice, paper trade it, do something, set yourself up for success. It's super simple. So there we go. I'll set my alerts. I think that one's interesting enough for me to follow up with it. I'm not going to trade it at all, but I think it would be interesting to follow up with. So JDST. So we've had a lot of people ask about JDST just because of the strong ending, right, on Friday. If you guys can check out /GC, just like we talked about last week. /GC was extremely overbought, overextended. There's a very consistent ascending uptrend pattern. We're back at this general area, kind of like this SMA line where it's bounced at before. So again, one of two things can happen, right? It's either going to consolidate and actually begin to show signs of a reversal and make higher highs, or this is in the very beginning stages of something to potentially sell off. What can you do? Simply give it time. Just ask yourself, the last trades you take, the last you put yourself at risk, especially if you don't have the best success rate. Be empowered to be selective. Try something new. Say more no than you do yes. Think about this. If this thing actually begins to sell off, or if it actually begins to recover, you're going to at least understand what is going on. Set yourself up for success. Have an understanding of what you're getting yourself into, and feel comfortable giving it time to allowing it to run, waiting for confirmation, even if you don't partake in the trade. Just have seen it all play out. Yeah, it sucks. Oh, you didn't make a profit, but you also didn't take a loss. And you at least called something out and it made sense to you and it came out according to plan so you can learn from it. You don't have to take. How many of you have tuned into one of the Learn Plan, any of the Learn Plan Profit live trading sessions? There's multiple times. And correct me if I'm wrong, but if you're part of the Learn Plan Profit team, there's multiple times that I will call out certain, I don't like saying calling out, but I will identify a potential reversal, right? And with that simple understanding that like I just don't see it to be worth it, or there's not enough confirmation, or I don't feel comfortable with it, and I'll simply hold off. So yeah, 95% of traders lose money. Yeah, Alex, that's something that we've said in multiple videos. That's not new news. So 100% of people lose money. Yeah, well, loss is inevitable, right, in the market. So you're bound to lose money, but it's how you manage it. So let's see. Here we go. Right, ticker symbol. Let's see, PAM. All right, so PAM, overall consistent descending pattern. It looks like it's in the very early stages of a potential reversal. MACD and RSI, all that looks bad. I don't see this to meet any of my criteria. It's all very inconsistent because of that. It just wouldn't make sense to me. Yeah, 99% of statistics are made. I love that. I don't understand the whole point of these people saying like, I don't understand life of Justin. I'm guessing your name is Justin, and I don't know who the other person is. But if you don't want to trade, I don't understand what you're doing here. Yeah, I don't understand why even waste your time. Go enjoy your life, Justin. Let's go ahead and move on to the next one. Here goes. WWE. All right, so WWE, overall, very consistent descending pattern based off of this overall reversal. It was showing signs of an uptrend, right? Do you guys remember when this thing was making higher highs and higher lows? It's not doing that anymore. It's not making lower lows and lower highs. It's in the very early stages of it trying to push up and hold up above the SMA line. Again, it has a lot of margin for it to potentially recover. As of right now, I don't find this pattern to be attractive enough. So I would say that I would like to wait. I'll set my alert up here, but I think that it's more overbought than it is oversold. And because of that, I would simply have to say that I would prefer to wait rather than try to get in early and try to predict the overall reversal. So because of that, yeah. What's going on, Chase? What's up? Let's see. So Ricky, do you hold crypto? I do not, no. All right, here we go. Let's go ahead and move on to KEM. Overall low points, overall high points, right? It looks like, look at the MACD, look at the RSI, looks like it's getting rejected by the overall SMA line. Yeah, it can continue to uptrend, but it looks like it's going to pull back. And again, it looks like it's going to pull back before it continues to rally. And because of that, we're trying to talk about the top stocks for this week. And I just don't know if this meets that criteria. But I'll set my alert for what it's worth, right? I just set my alert if it actually begins to make lower lows, but I'll also set my alert if it actually begins to make higher highs. So here we goes. Let's see. Let's see. All right, here we go. So we got someone calling out. We got George. What's going on, George? For calling out /NG, right? We got EWZ. Do EWZ. I'm gonna say /NG for the very end, if that's okay, George, just because we always talk about that and I just don't want to annoy people. Overall, right, highs, lows, very easy to kind of understand kind of the low points, the high points. Man, I'm really struggling to talk today. But yeah, I can definitely see why someone would potentially find this thing to be attractive because it's been showing signs of an uptrend and it hasn't stopped, right? I just find it based off of where it bounced at and where it's at right now that it shows potential signs of, that it has margin to give back in comparison to, this potential resistance that it previously got rejected at before. So because of that, I find this to be more overbought than it is oversold. I don't know anything about this. So I would set my alert here, and until, it is viewed as either as a better deal, right? So let's say it sells off and it bounces back here and then begins to indicate signs of reversal again. Well, at least we have a pattern to go off of, and then it can begin to make sense on the margin of profit based off previous supports, previous resistance levels, and we have something to work with. Right now, this thing's a little bit too kind of difficult for me. If you want, it makes sense on why you can kind of go with the flow with this overall EMA line, but I still think that, again, setting yourself up for success is key, and I still think that it's more overbought than it is oversold. So because of that, it wouldn't make too much sense to me. Here he goes. Let's go ahead and move on to TMUS. TMUS. Okay, what do you guys think about T-Mobile? What do you guys think about T-Mobile? Right? TMUS, overall 180-day pattern. What do you guys think about it? Let me ask you a question for all those that are tuning in right now. Would you add T-Mobile based off of the pattern that it has to offer to your watch list? Very simple, like would you add this to your watch list, your stock watch list? Would this be something that you would add? If you're tuning in, just say yeah. Do you find anything about T-Mobile to be attractive? We have a lot of people saying yes, showing signs of potential uptrend. No, too low of a profit. Okay, I like that. You're opinionated based off of your criteria. I like that. We have a lot of yeses, a few no's, right? I want to hear this out. So I had only one person explain their no's. I see a lot of people explaining their, saying their yeses and why, right? Let's always have a reason behind why we say yes or no. So when it comes down to the pattern, it's a very consistent uptrend pattern. One of the good points that someone brought up is that, the margin of profit isn't worth it. I think that is dependent on who you ask, but for you, if it's not worth it, 100%, I like that. No, because it's too slow. Okay, I like that too. The volatility, it doesn't meet your criteria. Just because it makes sense to you, right? Doesn't mean that it has to make sense to me. Doesn't mean that it has to make sense to the next trader, right? We have a lot of super opinionated people. I think that we can all agree on that, right? We have very opinionated people on YouTube. And there's nothing wrong with that. You just have to be open-minded that there's no right or wrong, right? Like you guys understand that, right? There's no right or wrong. It's whatever you find to be right, you stick to that. If someone else sees value in something and they end up finding success in it, cool, empower them. Don't bring them down for what they do. Just either try to understand it or either learn from it or ignore it, right? But one of the things that I like about this is that overall it's an ascending uptrend pattern, right? If I'm not mistaken, wasn't there going to be a potential merger with T-Mobile? Empowered to be selective. Mark, you're all good with those quotes today. Correct me if I'm wrong, but was there not something about maybe AT&T, right? If I'm not mistaken. Oh, was it Sprint? Was it Sprint and T-Mobile? Yeah, AT&T is too big. I think it was a merger. Yeah, pushback on the merger. Oh, they never clicked up with Sprint. And I believe it was around this period, right, where there was huge catalysts that drove the price up or down. I think this is super important. We have a lot of technical traders that follow this channel. We have a lot of people that are also fundamental traders that have great insight, that really dig and look into the news and expected, up and coming kind of opportunities, things that can really drive the price up or down for us. I think that's amazing. That's never been a focus of mine, but I think that's absolutely amazing. I can really condole people for that. So when it comes down to the technicals, I like the overall uptrend, right? Like someone said, the margin of profit isn't huge, all that fun stuff, right? It just might not meet your criteria. But altogether, I think that we could all agree that, if this news for the merger continues to happen or something, formulates in that aspect, then we can definitely see there to be a huge push up. As of right now, I agree, looking at the MACD, looking at the RSI, it doesn't look like a good deal. And it's just really doing a lot of consolidation and not enough action for me to want to partake in it. It doesn't mean that it's not right for you. It just means that it's not right for me. So check it out, do your own due diligence and see if it's something that meets your criteria. And if so, great, add it to your watch list. And if not, then again, just move on from that. It doesn't mean that it's right or wrong for anyone. It just means that it's not right for you. And that's 100% okay. Why don't you trade? Why don't you option trade? I just don't, man. Why don't you buy and resell potato chips? I don't know, because it's probably not worth your time, right? You just don't. There's nothing wrong with it. It's not that it's wrong, right? It's just I just don't. So I don't like selling potato chips. Why don't you short stocks? The same reason I don't sell potato chips. I'm just trying to have fun with it, right? I'm not trying to be mean to any of you guys. I get that question. You guys have to think about it. I get that question asked so many times every single day. I don't trade penny stocks. I don't trade options. I don't trade Forex. I don't trade crypto. I don't short sell. I focus on my niche. It works well for me. Some people like it. Some people don't. You don't have to like it. I'm here to empower you to, you can buy and resell potato chips. And if you make, $1,500, $2,000 $5,000 a month and it pays your bills and you like it and you have a passion for it, cool. I think do your own thing and be empowered to do it and work for yourself, work for your family, work for your future family, and ignore the rest. It doesn't matter what everyone else. People are so opinionated. I think that we can all agree on that, right? People are so opinionated on YouTube. They always think that they're right or wrong and that their opinion matters. Again, people are relevant. Focus on yourself, your small group of people that you actually value, and let the rest watch, right? Let the rest watch with everything it is that you do. Why don't you sell potato chips? I might have to, right? It's been a slow week. Actually, last week was a very enjoyable week when it came down to trading. Here it goes. Let's go ahead and do 2 more, and then we can go from there. CNC. All right, here we go. You guys are now talking about potato chips. Here we go. So CNC, overall consistent descending pattern. We're doing a lot of consolidation here. Overall, again, I'm just not a huge fan of this pattern, so I'll set my alert for what it's worth. And we could see that it usually gets rejected by the overall SMA line, but it does not meet my criteria. It's not a pattern that I normally trade, and because of that, I just wouldn't focus on it. I can definitely see why someone might find it attractive if it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend, but wait for confirmation. Let that action happen. Let that indication of the uptrend happen. So happy birthday, Ricky. Josh Johnson, it's not my birthday, but I appreciate it. Here we go. So let's go ahead and how long do you hold your positions? As long as I need to for it to make sense. I think you're probably just getting started. There's nothing, need time to become a little bit more well-versed with the market, and there's nothing wrong with that, right? But if you're asking like how long do you need to hold something, where should you buy, where should you sell, those are very beginner questions that you need to understand what makes up a good buy, what makes up a good sell, and the thought process behind that. What's going on, Laura? Haven't seen you in a while. What's up? Don't get greedy. Yep, I need a Pop-Tart. Lido, you and me both, man. All these FAQs are kind of getting to me right now. Here we go, the first angels. So we got YPF. Let's go ahead and do 2 more after this. So YPF, I can see why someone might see value in this potential dip buy opportunity. I just look at the MACD, look at the RSI. I can see this thing potentially continue to sell off. So I'm going to set my alert for the break below the EMA line, or if this thing actually begins to make higher highs, then I can follow up with it, and maybe it can make sense. It doesn't mean that I have to trade it, even if I just follow up with it and see it grow. I think that'd be super cool. So awesome, Ricky. Thanks. Oh, appreciate you. Hope you're doing well. Hope you're having an amazing year. Hopefully you enjoyed your summer, and hope you're killing it. Did you try the new chicken Popeyes? No, I didn't. I'm not huge on that. So this is a great way to, you already got blocked. Dang it. I wanted to block you. Damn, this you're too quick. All right, let's go ahead and do 2 more. 2 more. Rick is cracking me up tonight. I'm just, guys, it's been like, we have to have fun with what we do. We literally look at charts all day. People try to, when it comes down to trading, yeah, take it seriously. But when it comes down to like working with other people, especially people that are like trolling, just have fun with it. There's, no reason to be mean to other people. Have fun with it. Do your thing, and let's have fun and make some money. Here we go. I like this. Aria, thank you for posting it in the ticker call out format. BAC. Bank of America account got. Do you guys know that song? No? Okay, yeah, me neither. Here we go. So overall, got rejected by the overall SMA line. Looks like it's been pulling back. Look at the MACD, look at the RSI, and here we go. I'm going to set my alert. I think that it's going to make lower lows and actually continue to sell off, but I'm going to set my alert for the break above 28. I can just get alerted and seeing a little bit more where the direction is going to be heading. And if this thing aggressively sells off, then again, that's another thing that we can talk about. But this is great, I think, for maybe either short sellers or people that are trying to go long, depending on which direction it begins to go. This is something that you might want to pay attention to. I like it, Connor. There you go. You know it. What's going on, Alex? Well, I'm super happy to hear that you're enjoying it. Alex, I'm not too sure if you're part of the Learn Plan Profit team, but I really just like that you've been spending time watching my videos on YouTube. If you're not part of the Learn Plan Profit team, feel free to send me a direct message on Instagram. My Instagram is Ricky Gutierrez with 2 Z's. Just a little reminder, I only have one Instagram. And just say, hey, my name's Alex. I was the one that commented that is doing, I'm guessing if you're saying my uni assignment, you're not from the United States. You're probably someone from, someone else. I want to give you access to tomorrow's free, not free live trading session, but Learn, Plan, Profit live trading session. I'd love for you to, if you're open to it, give you a taste of what the Learn, Plan, Profit team gets to experience, just because you've invested so much of your time with, our videos. So if that's okay with you, feel free to send me a direct message on Instagram telling me that you're the Alex from YouTube, and then we'll send you the unlisted live stream. So I appreciate your time. I really do, especially for someone that's very driven, working and going to school. Would love to see if you enjoy what you have to offer within Learn, Plan, Profit. So here it goes. What's going on? Oh, just subscribe. Welcome to the team. Here's the jewel for you. All right, let's see it. I like the confidence. So here's the jewel for me. So NTEC. NTEC. Let's see it. This is a jewel for. Oh, Jesus. What do you guys think about this? Is this a jewel? This is I thought you were gonna give me a diamond, not a piece of coal, right? Oh my goodness. I just don't see value in this because it's a very consistent descending pattern. We're just trying to have fun with this. It's been flatlining, no clear direction. It's been aggressive sell-off. If I were to say, hey, I were to give you $100,000. Let's say you worked for 10, 20 years and you saved $100,000, right? Right? If you earned $100,000, would you really put your money in this? Like, would you really? The direction is not in your favor. It's been consistently selling off. And just imagine if you got in even before this huge sell-off, right? 76%, or just imagine if you were up here, right? And where it's at right now, 88%. Just imagine how much more it can sell off. Yeah, it has margin to recover, but the overall direction, in my eyes, is always what's most important. And because of that, the direction is not showing signs of growth. So because of that, I do not want to partake. I'm not a dip buyer. I'm not here to buy at the lowest price. I used to be like that. How many of you guys? How many of you have had a focus before? And some of you might be really good at it. I wasn't. How many of you have always tried to, when you first got started, to buy the dip, to average down, to buy always the lowest price, to get your average purchase price as low as you could? I think that it's a fun thing when we all admit our mistakes, because I 100% not only have made that mistake when I first got started. When I get really frustrated, very flustered, and if I'm having just a really bad day, I tend to make those mistakes again. I'm human. There's absolutely nothing wrong with making mistakes. Just admit it, right? I've 100% been consumed with the idea of trying to get the best price, the lowest price. Why? Because at least to me, right? And then when it comes down to buying something, you always want to get the lowest price. But what I've learned, and this is just my opinion and my experience, what I've learned is that it's not so much, and correct me if I'm wrong, right? I'm serious about this. It's not so much about getting in at the lowest price point, but what's been the most enjoyable trades for me is when I get in and get out when all the action is happening. There could be huge movements, right? And someone could have bought at the very low price point. And again, that is always wow, that's amazing. But I'm not always going to aim for that 1% trade. As in that 1 out of 1,000 trades, that one will get set up. I buy at the lowest price point and it shoots up. That just normally is not going to happen. So because of that, what do I try to do and what is most enjoyable for me? This is me, Ricky, and what I like to do, not what you have to do. But I think it makes more sense when you wait for confirmation, when you allow an opportunity to present itself, when it's showing signs of an uptrend. Do you guys get what I mean? When it's showing signs of an uptrend, let me give you a perfect example. And this is Shopify. This is not how it's going to play out. That's not what I'm saying, but I want to give you an example. Let's say this is Shopify, right? We're waiting for consolidation. Let's say it sells off, it picks right back up. and then it begins to indicate signs of an uptrend. Let's say it's back up here, and then based off of the overall, one of the first things that we want to point out, it's an overall uptrend, right? It makes sense on why it can continue to increase in price. We wait for confirmation, it begins to make higher highs, and then I wait for that higher high confirmation. And as it continues to uptrend, I add more to my position. And then once it becomes overbought or indicates signs of a resistance, I'll lock in profits. And guess what? I felt comfortable and confident throughout that entire trade. Why? Because I understood what I was doing, and I was putting my money in something that was actually increasing in price. Not trying to buy the dip, and then hope that something just shoots up. Because I've been there. I've made that mistake. And some of you, a very few amount of you, maybe even just like one person watching, can consistently do that. You have to think, like, I'm not working towards becoming, like a Steph Curry, right? When it comes down to trading, someone that's just extremely gifted. I knew when I first got started that, I made a lot of mistakes. It obviously made sense that like I just didn't I wasn't like a, complete, like I didn't know everything. And that's okay. I'm not, there's nothing wrong with working towards always just getting a little bit better. But all I want to remind you is that like, it's not about working or trying to put yourself in a position where you always get lucky, but put yourself in a position in which you understand that actually makes sense. Right? Like it's I think again, and I'm sorry for repeating it. A lot of you guys like LeBron James, and he's also really good too. As Steph Curry, I don't know, people, maybe because I'm from the West Coast, a lot of people talk about it. Oh wait, LeBron is, he's in the Lakers now, right? I know my calendar's still wrong. I still haven't got my new calendar, but you guys kind of know you guys get the concept of what I'm trying to say is after all this video, you guys saw me talk about all these series of different, stocks that we cover today. I think that's great. If you have more stocks that you want me to break down, you could either direct message me on Discord if you have any trading related questions and tag me in the group alerts or the watch list. But one of the biggest things that I want you guys to focus on is the simple idea that don't put yourself in a position that you are not ready for. If the market was super simple and you're trying to find the easy way out, and hey Ricky, give me 3 tips to just get me started. Come on, man. It's much more complicated than that. It takes time, it takes practice, and anything worth pursuing, you need to sacrifice. You need to dedicate time to become more well-versed within that niche, within that market, to become self-sufficient, to understand what it is that you're doing, so you can do this on your own. And there's nothing wrong with that. It just means that there's going to be a lot of people that are going to give up because it's not that simple, because it's not a job. You're not being told what to do. Think about it. All the jobs that pay extremely well, usually it's because you're being paid for either your creativity, because you're not being told you're not being told what to do every step of the way, because it actually takes some thought process. It's just a very simple little thing that I want you to think about. Oh, I almost forgot. Natural gas. Yeah. Almost forgot about it. I apologize. /NG on the 1 day, 1 minute chart. One of the things that I want to point out, had a huge push up, based off of where it closed out on Friday. Futures open on Sunday. So it looks like overall, UGAS is going to be opening in the green if it continues to hold above with where it closed at on Friday. It's kind of indifferent right now because it was showing signs of an uptrend, but it's been downtrending ever since, and it's in between the middle and bottom of the up. So I'm kind of indifferent about it. I'm going to set my alerts, and if you're part of the Learn Plan Profit group, you'll most likely hear me talk about it in the mornings, and we can kind of go from there. But that's really just it. So I really hope that you guys enjoyed this trading session. Please, if you guys feel like I earned it, we'd really appreciate the thumbs up in this video. It greatly helps out this video and us to be able to reach more people and continuing to be the largest YouTube channel for those who trade in the stock market. Also do want to remind you, if you think that you're ready, if you like my YouTube videos, if you would like to work with me on a closer basis, the only team that I work with, if you would like my assistance and you want to learn how to trade, it's the second link below or the first link below. It's the Learn Plan Profit group, and I give you a $40 off coupon for the first, if I'm not mistaken, 15 people. The link is limited, so 15 people, $40 off if you're ready to join. If you have any questions about the Learn Plan Profit team, I put my number down below. And again, you guys can simply send me a text and we can talk there. Please don't try to call me. The calls won't go through. I'm going to be messaging you from my iPhone. So if you have any trading related questions about Learn, Plan, Profit and about our sale for $40 off, send me a text message and we can simply talk about it. Other than that, I really do appreciate your guys' time. Continue working hard, continue following dreams, let your passion be what drives your success. And like always, let's make sure that we end the year on a green note.